Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to issue 71 all the way up to issue 74 of Build the Iron Man Mark III. So welcome back and thanks for tuning in for some more episodes of Build the Iron Man. Obviously we're edging ever closer now to the end of this build. Obviously going to be up to 74 today out of 100. Now I know there is 120 apparently because they might do the battle damage extra 20 issues, but like I said before, I'm not interested in that. I want the nice, shiny, glossy, shall we say, straight out of the factory. Well, not the factory, but the workshop, Iron Man's workshop, Mark III. It will naturally weather over time, so you know I'm happy with that anyway. So for today, we actually are going to be completing the support base. So I've got the other sections for this, which is going to allow us to mount the Iron Man to that support frame and pole whilst we're still assembling him. And also we're working on the chest finally today. We have the chest, well, the inner part of the whole armour there. It's quite heavy, by the way, and also the breastplate and accessories. So we're finally obviously working on a new area, which is going to be very important for connecting up the arms and the head and the neck, and pretty much joining everything together. This is like one of the last parts and one of the most important parts. I'm really glad we've got that. I'll show you the parts quickly for 71 and 72. We'll work on those, and then I'll show you the parts for the other two issues, and then we'll crack on with those. So let's get started. Okay, so for issue 71, obviously we've got the second part of the base here. Obviously that's plastic. These little plastic parts here are the connectors for the base, so you've got 4 of those. Then you've also got clips for the base as well, 2 little plastic ones there. The screws you'll need are LP 2x5mm, so we've got a bag there. And then we're actually also working on assembly for the central leg support and the first part of the display base, like I said. So we're actually going to have the hip and ball joints here. So this is the ball joint, this is the hip, lower hip armour, and then lastly we've got the covers for the central leg support. So you've got 1 and 2, obviously left and right, I imagine. So those are those components there. Shifting over to issue 72, like I mentioned, you've got the chest structure there. So a nice hefty bit of metal. You've got the support masts, so we've got 2 of those. Obviously very strong, very heavy and dense, because needed to hold up that heavy Iron Man. Then you've actually got an arc reactor holder, so that's obviously going to go in the chest. We've got some adjustment stickers. We've got a couple of different screws here. So we've got IPs 1.7 times 4mm, EMs 1.7 times 4mm, and then IP. Sorry, I think I repeated that, but IP is obviously the same. Then we've got some pins. So these are just some pins you need. Doesn't say about size or anything like that. Then you've got a base plate for the reactor mast, just that little bit of plastic. And then lastly, this section here is the reactor mast. Okay, so for steps, or stage 1, sorry, you need to go back to your parts that haven't been used for a while. So you're going to have a massive bag of various pieces and whatnot. You need the left and right bearing rings for the hip joints. So obviously you've got left and right, it says L and R in there. So you're going to start with the left one, just double check which one's which. So you take the left one and then you're going to pop through one of the ball joints. So you just push that through like so. It'll go through, then once it's gone through, you're going to connect it to 71B. Now 71B is the part that has the additional, so it's got a few more screw holes opposed to the other one, which is 71C. There's not so many, so 71B is the one that has more. So I'm just going to line those up and then fix it how it's showing me to do it. So obviously, on that side there, this is where the screw holes are going to go through, and it's going to obviously connect here, I believe on that side there, so just like that. So then obviously we'll secure it from the other side. So I'm just going to grab the screws and then we'll do that. Okay, so you're going to need 2 LP screws for that. So obviously you just push that through, and obviously now it's going to sit at the back of that, and then we'll spin this round. Sorry, this one here. Like I said, put it over there, and then I believe, yeah, from the inside you're going to secure those 2 together. So just got to make sure this doesn't fall, so support that. Just about support with my finger. I'm just going to screw the LP screw through on both sides, and then all you do is repeat this exactly the same for the right side. So it's pretty simple, it's just a bit fiddly. So that obviously will be the first part for the assembly of the ball joints and the hips. So just get that first screw in, and then it will give me a bit of freedom to grab the other one whilst it's in place. What I'll do is I'll do the other one off camera because it's pretty much identical, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so you can just see those being secured now, and obviously that will stay on once we have it fixed up where we need to. Okay, that's how they're both looking at this point in time. There's nothing more we can do with those parts today, so we just put them aside, as well as obviously that part there. So now we're going to finish off this issue by working on connecting the base. So obviously we need both parts, and we're going to flip them round, and you'll see that there are multiple peg holes running alongside both sides. That's what you're going to connect. So you're going to take the pegs, the 4 connectors, sorry, and you're going to slot those over each one, and then screw them together, and also I believe obviously the clips will be required at the top. So I'm just going to align them all up. So let's move this bad boy out of the way for a sec so you can see a bit better. A little bit too much going on. Let's move this over slightly. So nothing too complicated, but I still want to show you regardless. So I'm going to pop those over on each section. And obviously for these, I just want to secure them again with those LP screws. And from what I can see, the clips, yeah, they do slot at the top of the base. So I'm just going to secure the connectors first, the 4 connectors, and then I'll show you the clips after that. Okay, so I've connected up all the LP screws. Like I said, it's two of each, 2 screws on each side of the connectors. So obviously now that's secure, but just to finish it off, we're going to pop those clips at the top and bottom over. So all you do is just slide it over from the top. It's showing in the picture that you just literally push it over and down. So just bear with me. Okay, a little bit fiddly, but we've got there in the end. So the clips are either side and all the connectors are done, and that is the first part of the support base done. So it's nearly done. Obviously with the next issue we're going to work on putting the poles on and stuff, so, and then soon it'll be complete. But that's issue 71 complete. Right guys and girls, so issue 72, and kicking off with the assembly of the arc reactor mechanism. So what we're going to do, we're going to flip this round, and you'll see inside there is the space that we need to put that arc reactor holder in. So there are screw holes, and they correspond with the screw peg holes on the arc reactor itself, the holder. So I'm just going to check the orientation, and once I've done that, I will put it into place, and then I will secure it with the required screws. So that's how that should be. The screws you need are 2 EM screws. So let's secure that now. Get it all into place. So it's nice and safe. I'm pretty excited that that arc reactor's soon going to be getting a home, because it's been done for a long time. It's just sitting around all on its own, pre-bored and not being used. So I have tested it, it does still work. So that's one good thing at least. So that's the first screw. I'll just do the second one and then we're going to move on to the next steps. So just do this off camera and then skip ahead. Right, so next up you need the reactor mast. That's that component there, and also the base plate. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the mast through that. Just double checking which way up it goes. I believe it's this way. So let me check that the screw hole's also the right way as well. So what it says here in the instructions is that apparently the arc reactor lights up by pressing a button on the back, which is going to be installed in a future issue. So obviously there is an initial there is a button on there at the moment, but that obviously isn't going to be used. Well, it will connect to the other one, I imagine. So joining those two up, you're going to pop it over the arc reactor holder there, and you'll see there's the two peg screw holes for it. So I'm going to pop that over, get into place. And then from that you need two IP screws to hold it all into place. So I'm just going to secure those together. I'm hopeful that I've got this the right way. I believe I have from what the photos are showing. So hopefully I don't have to go back and spin it around, because I shouldn't have to anyway. So let's get these secure and then we can move on to the next stage. Okay, so that's how it should be looking at the end of stage one. So that's all nice and secure. And we can pop it to one side now and we'll work it on in a future issue. So now we're going to move on to stage two, and that's assembly of the support mast. So you'll see I've got 72E here and 72F. All you're going to do, with the end part there, you can see that you're going to slide it through like so. And then at the very end of this, well, no, sorry, not the very end. Just those two little holes there. We're actually going to pop those pins in there. So I'm just going to grab them now. It says you only need two, and then apparently that should hold it together. Once we put that sticker, adjuster sticker over it as well. So I'm just going to pop those pins through. You only need two, like I said. You have got four, so two spares in case you lose them. Obviously, be very careful not to. So I'm just going to push those through and it should lock them into place. It says you might need a hammer to bash it down, so I'm just going to check they're lined up okay. So I haven't got a hammer spare, so I'm just going to use the back of my screwdriver to knock it in. I've partially done the first one, just trying to do the second one now. So it's going in. Just want to be careful not to break anything. Okay, so they're in enough for what I need. It's nice and secure. I might just give an extra bash of a hammer off camera, but as you can see, it's nice and solid. So once you've done that, at the very end here of a 72E plus F, you're going to put the one of the adjuster stickers on there. So you only need one, and all you're going to do is just wrap it right around it. So let's just do that now. So just do it very carefully. And all this is going to do, it's going to allow it to move in and out of the base more smoothly, so it won't get too stiff. So that's literally it. So I've put that on there, nice and neat, and it's good to go. So that is that issue complete. Issue 71 and 72. Okay, so for issue 73, on this issue we're actually continuing and we're actually going to unite the chest with the neck armour, and obviously then we're going to finish up with the base as well. So we've got the support brackets here, two metal support brackets for that base. Moving on, we've got the neck armour, so that's plastic. We've then got a breastplate, this is plastic, We've got some adhesive strips here, so 3 of those. You've also got the breastplate elements. So you've got 1 and 2, obviously left and right. You've got a spring, not sure that's for just yet. Screws, you've got GMs 2x3x6mm. You've got some IPs 1.7 x 4mm, and lastly you've got some KMs 2x6mm. That's all you need for that issue. Obviously you need the base as well, and what we've been working on, the chest. For issue 74, it's literally it. So it's back to not much to do on that issue. It's just a breastplate mechanism that obviously can be put onto the chest plate, as well as some screws, IPs that go with that 1.7 x 4mm. So let's get cracking on issue 73. Okay, so for stage 1 assembly of the breastplate, you're going to take obviously that section there and the little additional elements for the chest. So all you do, you'll see on the side there are some like little peg holes. You just literally pop those over on both sides, and then on the other side you're going to, so it's just popped on like that, and the other side there's 2 screw holes for both parts. You're going to secure those with some IP screws. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now, and then we can whiz through onto the next part with the neck. So this is nothing too complicated, but as always I don't want to rush it. I want to get it right and naturally not cause any damage, because even these plastic parts can get marked and you know, slightly damaged, so you've got to be careful. Okay, once they're done, that's how it's going to be looking. You're now going to take the breastplate and add it to the neck armour. So all you're going to do is slot this over at the front like so, spin it round, and you'll see at the back this has now got 2 screw holes. So we need another 2 IP screws for this. We're just going to secure these 2 together with the 2 screws. Then we can move on to the final step for the chest, and then we're going to move on to completing the support base. So nice and easy, not a great deal to do, and I'm hopeful that I'm going to get another delivery soon, which will obviously take me up to issue 78, so I'm intrigued to see what's going to be in those issues. Okay, that's how that's looking. So now for the final step, we're obviously going to take the assembled and combined breastplate and neck armour, and we're going to pop it over onto the front of the chest. So again, at the top you will see here, this area here is where it's all going to slot through. So I'm just going to pop that through. So check, so it slots in like so. Now that's all nice and snug, we're going to spin it around, and you'll see at the bottom here, so spin it around, there are 2 screw holes. So that's going to join those up together, and again you will need some IP screws. So I'm just going to pop those together and then show you the finished product. So just bear me a moment. This is coming together very nicely. I'm liking the look of it. Such good quality, honestly, so good, and I cannot wait for this to be finished. This is going to be my final build for a while, I've mentioned before. So there you go, lost the screwdriver, but there we go. That is that section complete of the chest, and we can move on to completing the support base. Okay, so for stage 2, which is assembly of the base bracket, we're going to take component 72E first of all. I'm just going to spin that round. So it says we need to put an adhesive tape underneath, so I'm just going to take one of those off now and then pop it underneath, and obviously I imagine this is to reduce friction. So just pop that on underneath. And then you're going to repeat the process for the other support bracket. So again, take another adhesive tape and place it underneath. So let's check I've got it the right way round for in the picture. So we're just going to go underneath this one again from the top, just like the other one. Okay, and then once you've done that, you're actually going to secure these two with that spring. So let's pop that spring. The spring goes over 73G, so you see there's a pin there. That's going to go over like so. And I'm just checking if there's anywhere so part of the spring needs to sit flat in there, so you can see that part where it's sitting. And once you've got that there, you're actually going to pop the other one over it. So 72E will go over it. So it's going to kind of look like a bit like a hook from what I can see in the picture. So let's just see if I get this right first time. Okay, so it just goes over like this. And now you can see how they're joined together. Once you've done that, you're going to secure those two together with a GM screw. So just need the one. And obviously it's going to go over that screw hole, so it's pretty simple. And that's going to join those two together. And then once we've done that, we're just going to attach it to those poles. I believe there are some pegs that we do that with. So let's just get this into place first. Okay, so that's how it's looking. So now we'll take the pole, the support pole, the support bracket for the base, and it's saying about the pegs. So I'm just double checking where they're actually going to go. I believe it's showing three holes down from the top of this section, and then those pegs are on obviously these parts here. So let's get this the right way around. There's 3 holes down from what I saw. Well, it says you've got to go 2 holes down and then put them in the 3rd and 4th. So let's push that through. Okay, so it's not going all the way through, so I'm not sure if there's something wrong with it, or I just have to screw it in and that will bring it together, because these screws are quite long. So it says you need to secure it with the KM screw. So I'm just gonna try and secure it. And then see if it brings it tighter and flush against the pole, because otherwise I need to have a little fiddle with it and play around. So bear with me. It does say that obviously there are many holes, so you can adjust the height as you see fit based on that. So this doesn't have to be set in stone where it's actually going for the moment, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. So obviously that's what it says to do. So it's a bit fiddly. Let's try and get that first screw in there. Okay, so I've managed to secure those two together. The screws have made it a bit tighter and flush. You can see here I can obviously adjust this for how I want it for the Iron. So just to finish it all off, I'm going to show you properly at the end of this video anyway. I just pop that through and it's on there like so, but off camera I'm sorry, at the end of the video I'll show you properly, because obviously it's too high. But that is that issue complete. Okay, so the final issue for today, issue 74, and as you can see all we have is 74A, which is a new breastplate. So all we're going to do is pop that on the chest. So obviously just going to add more detail to that. So all you do, you literally, I mean you can see, it's just going to slide over. It's going to go over the arc reactor. Well, I say it's just going to go over. Let's double check that I know where it's going myself, because once we've got it in place, we're going to secure it with some screws, some IP screws. So I think it sits a bit lower actually. Yeah, so I can see with my problem, and I was doing it upside down, so that obviously doesn't help. But there you go. So it's on there now. All I need to do is secure it with some IP screws at the back. You'll see where the screw holes are. Nothing fancy. And then that is that issue complete, and their chest assembly is making very good progress. Obviously it's not finished, there's still more to do, of course. The guys are always going to drag it out to make the most money from us. But we've done, I think, a fair bit. You know, so it's not too bad. Just hopefully the next few issues aren't going to be silly ones where there's not much going on. I mean, there's not many left, so they can't really eke out much longer. They need to start giving us a lot more to do, because the Iron Man's nearly complete. It's as simple as that. So just going to secure 2 of them for now, and then I'll show you the completed project. So all the issues are complete, but I forgot to mention I actually have the final section for the main base. So we've obviously worked on the support base, but we still have the main base we've been building as well. As you can see, this massive thing here. So we have the final part of the base to obviously add on. Obviously there are going to be more electric works being required, I imagine, because there's only that little circuit board. So there's probably more going to go on underneath, from what I can see. Probably not a great deal, but we'll see. But obviously, in terms of the outer edgings of the frame itself, it will be complete after this. So I'm just going to secure it. You need, for obviously that part, for the plastic part, that's obviously where the light's going to come through. You need some HM screws, and obviously then to connect it to the base, you're going to need some, what are they, IM screws. So I'm just going to secure those now, and then I'll show you how it looks afterwards with everything else. So that's it for today. Issues 71 to 74 are now complete, and as you can see, we have started work on the chest, and obviously the breastplate and accessories inside. Looks really cool, really nice quality. I really like it. Pretty substantial. Obviously that's gonna house the arc reactor, so I can probably put that in now actually, see if it'll go in. So look, so that's how it looks with the arc reactor in. Pretty cool. I don't think, obviously I haven't got the button yet to turn it on from the outside, so I can't do that. So obviously that's done, really cool. And then we've now got the support base, obviously what we can work on. So obviously, you should just go back a little bit. That's how it looks. Obviously it's really cool because I can, you know, basically hang the Iron Man and work on him whilst we continue the last stages, which is really practical because, you know, he's going to be really heavy and flimsy and also just a bit annoying. So having that is great. This is a great idea from Fan Home, and thank you. So that's that. And then also, like I said, I've got the final segment. There's 6 that go on the outside of the base. So that's the completed base, obviously, for essentially putting all the segments on. Obviously underneath we have got that little circuit board, but there's more stuff needed. Obviously the lights and whatnot are going to be required, and more wiring, and obviously batteries or something. So there'll be more additions there, I imagine. But you can see how big it is. I mean, it's absolutely massive, way bigger than my head. So obviously that's going to be pretty substantial for when the Iron Man stands on it. So yeah, really happy with today's episode. Hope you liked it. Should be getting issues 75 to 78 very soon. Hopefully, you know, there'll be some other nice bits for the base as well. I imagine there will be. Let me know your thought of the video. If you did like it, as always, please remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Like I mentioned, when this build is finished, it's going to be the last for a while, but who knows, maybe something might catch my eye. But irregardless, I'm still loving this one. It's really making, you know, it's making a good way now. So obviously, again, to show you that, got the head. You know, it's all coming together. It's all coming together slowly but surely. So anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.